Hi, it's Norman Kochnek again for Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnek. I've been asked a lot of questions throughout the day about weather, certainly a big question about weather. There's a constant question about weather. I can make it very clear that weather will not be an issue for this test. Rain is always imminent in Brisbane, but rain won't be the issue for this test. So that's one aspect. Secondly, the pitch will be bouncy and suit the fast bowling without a doubt. That's a typical Gabba pitch, hence why Australia has won so many matches in a row there. But the most interesting question I get asked is about obviously fitness, or more so at the level of the injury toll of the Indian team. We know with the Australian team, Dave Warner's been under a cloud with his groin area, Pucovski with his shoulder. Otherwise, Australia seems to be in pretty good nick. But India is basically in their media bulletins are calling out for a wanted poster, wanted 11 fit Indians to play cricket for their country. Quite remarkable when you've got well over 1.5 billion people in your country, but you're looking for 11 fit players. It's quite a disturbing thing, but the reality is India's got an amazing depth, and even despite all the injuries, there's a very, very strong squad to be assembled. Well, let's just go through the injuries. Now, the one that's probably the most notable is Jasprit Bumrah. Bumrah's abdominal strain seems to be quite significant, and by all means, looks like it's keeping him out of the match. You've already lost Mohammed Shami, obviously Ishant Sharma some time ago, Umesh Yadav. They've all gone there and all not a part of the squad any longer. Jadeja, of course, with his thumb injury to his bowling hand, he's gone. Then you've got the likes of Vihari, they're claiming that his hamstring strain is not serious, but I think it's more than uncertain. I think he's not playing. I think that's pretty certain. Then you've got the likes of Pant with an elbow injury. He looks like he's going to play. Then there's a whole string of decisions about Ashwin. Well, Ashwin is so damn determined. I think he'll be playing regardless of whether he had no back, but his back seems to be still playing up, but he seems to be able to play with that injury, albeit more chronic than a short-term injury. So that leaves a side that will be made up of a fairly stable top four. Again, Shubman and Gill and the likes of Rohit Sharma are distinctly the opening pair. Agarwal's another one that's injured himself in training, and they're saying he may be a chance. I believe he will not be playing, so he will not be included. So we'll go back to the openers. Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, obviously Pujara and Rahane. That top four's fairly certain. I mean, there's no doubt about that top four. That top four was always going to be the case. I don't think there was ever going to be a situation that you would not have that top four, to be really honest with you. And then on top of that, so we'll go back. Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Pujara, Rahane. That top four is probably the key to India's chances of winning this match. If those four can stabilise and get long-term opening partnerships or substantial player partnerships, that'll be the key to the success of the Brisbane Test, despite the bowling efforts of Australia. There's no doubt that Stark, Hazelwood and Cummins, despite being good bowlers, they're going to be sick and sore for this Test match. And with no Pattinson there, Nessa as a replacement, they're going to be a bit unstable as well. So those top four batsmen, as I said, then Rishabh Pant, despite his elbow injury, will go in at number 5. Vihari's not playing. Wriddhiman Saha will be the number 6. Ashwin at number 7. Now there's been some discussion about Kuldeep, Yadav and Washington Sundar. Now Washington Sundar's floating around in Australia after the ODI series, or T20 series that he was involved with. He stayed in Australia quite cleverly, but Washington Sundar is available. He's an off spinner, but of course he will be playing with, between Kuldeep, Yadav and himself will be one. It looks like one of those two will actually join Ashwin as the second bowler, spin bowler. Now it's a bit unusual because it is the Gabba. Gabba's not known for having as much spin, but that looks like the selection. Siraj will open the bowling and lead the bowling attack. Navdeep Saini will also be there, probably to partner him as an opening bowler. It comes down to the 11th position in the team, and you've got either Shardul, Thakur or Natarajan. At this stage, Shardul is probably a slight bit ahead, and Natarajan won't be lost if he was out there, and he may debut as well. So that's between those two for the 11th position. So again, Sharma, Gill, Pujara, Rahane, Pant, Saha, Ashwin. Then, well, if they go with another spinner, it probably will be Kuldeep. Washington is there possibly. Siraj, Saini, and of course Thakur, Shardul Thakur. Natarajan may miss that yet again, but boy, he's close. It's very, very close to being selected. So that's my 11. And we must take into account the conditions will be wet potentially, but there'll be still a test match that can be completed there. And the batting lineup will be very strong, especially the top 4, if not 5 with Pant. Bowling line is still very good. They're in with a great chance. Australia will be expecting to beat them and bowl them out. Don't be convinced. Even though Vihari's not here this time, Ashwin still is. And the determination of the batting lineup. And Saha kept very well. There's still a very good mix there. Maybe a little bit lacking in the bowling department, but Kuldeep may be the X factor as well to join Ashwin with no Jadeja. Jadeja being in Sydney still after having an operation to his hand, I believe, and some sort of therapy related to it. Anyway, that's Norman Koshnek. The extra time, well, actually not extra time, it's for my channel this time. It's actually for the likes of Eyes on Cricket with Norman Koshnek. Obviously, extra time is a major part of my life. I give full credit there to Debashish Sen for his efforts with me on that channel, a great channel. But I need to move along my own nest now. This is Norman Koshnek for my channel Eyes on Cricket with Norman Koshnek.